So preparation for negotiating an employment contract should begin way before you actually want to do the negotiating. And so basically you want to answer 4 questions. One is, what do I want? So that requires a little bit of introspection. And then, what do I need? So you've got things you want, but you could do without them, and then things you absolutely have to have. Then what does the employer want? And you're not going to know that until you get into the interview process, but you can ask some questions during the interview process to get a pretty good idea of what they're going to want. And the 4th is, what do you have to offer? So that could be, I see lots of patients, I do lots of billings, I bring in lots of revenues, or it could be, I'll take over the teaching part of the business for you. You can do your surgery or your procedures, and I will do all the patient counseling, which is billable and can bring in a fair amount of money. So what are your strengths? What do you have to offer? And that should be based partly on you, but partly also on what you've assessed their needs are as the employer. Well, the employer doesn't have to give you the productivity figures. Usually employers or practice managers know how much each clinician is billing and how much they're collecting for each clinician. So they usually have that data, but they don't have to give it to you. It's not required by law, but they should, because if you're not producing, you should know, or if you're billing but not collecting, you should know. And many employers now have various incentives to get the clinicians to see more patients and to be more efficient. So they have the data, they don't have to share it with you, but if they won't share it with you, you can collect it yourself by pencil and paper, writing down the visits that you make each day, write down the CPT codes that you billed each day, and then tally them up, and then use Medicare's physician fee schedule, which is online, plug in the numbers, crunch the numbers. So you can do it yourself if they won't give you the numbers. The overall take-home message and the thing to consider is that probably this is a negotiable situation. If they give you a contract and it's going to be this much money and this much time off, and there may be a restrictive covenant in it, there may be things you don't want, keep in mind that it's probably just the first offer and that they probably expect you to negotiate. Not always the case, but probably. So you want to figure out, what do I want and need in relation to what this offer is, and then know or take into account what you found out about what they want and need, and then try to mesh those things and see if you can negotiate something that both parties can agree to. There's really no right or wrong in employment contract negotiation. It's a matter of how you can have a fit between what the employer wants and needs and what you want and need. So the take-home message is just don't be afraid to negotiate. You don't want to be hard-nosed about it, in that they have a side to this too, so it's a give and take. But you should try to get what you want. And if not, well, maybe that's not the job that you need to take.